So part 2 of Money Heist comes out tonight at midnight on Netflix. Now, part 1, its original Spanish name is La Casa de Papel, or Papel, I'm not quite sure how you say it. Go ahead, yell at me in the comments about it. Now, I didn't get to review part 1 because it was a little before my time on YouTube. I want to do a quick review about why I think part 1 was so popular, such a great addictive show. Now, it has all those classic fun heist elements, the quirky different team members with the different fun names, the banter back and forth between them, the slick visuals, but I just feel this show really perfected the robbery, the bank robbery aesthetic in particular. Now, having masks for the robbers, that's typical, makes perfect sense, but this show, the hostages, they had blindfolds for them, and the blindfolds, they had little X's where their eyes would be, as if they were dead. Now, I guess you can justify this and say it's supposed to terrify the hostages into submission, but really it's because it looks cool. It's aesthetics. Now, the sniper that's on the side of the police trying to take them down, the sniper's in full black, has the baklava on. Maybe police snipers, they have the baklava to prevent hair from getting in their face, but again, really, it's just because it looks cool. Most members of the crime team and most hostages, not only are they beautiful to look at, but they'll do close-ups, high-definition close-ups on their face, and then blur the background like an iPhone beauty filter. But not only that, they'll, of course, pick the best, most aesthetic, menacing-looking guns, but then they'll zoom in on the guns and do the same blurred background effect. They have a scene shot outside the prison, and they use, they get a shot of the razor wire, the very iconic prison razor wire, and again, they'll zoom in on the prison razor wire and blur out the background. Now, I'm thinking back, I think I mispronounced the face covering. It's balaclava. I don't think that's what I said. Not doing well on the pronunciations today, but I'm going to power through. So they have the red jumpsuits. Now, again, they have a justification. They want everyone to wear them and you can't tell who's who, but it creates just some beautiful, beautiful shots, and they use it to great effect when they're facing down the police. Not only are they in perfect symmetrical formation, they're all color coordinated right down to the shoes. They're all wearing the black shoes. But the camera, it'll go up really high and then spin around. I call it the Transformers effect, and it just couldn't make it seem like there's this more epic, unstoppable force. And the symmetry throughout the show is excellent. Not only do they collect the cell phones of all their hostages, but then they put them up on the wall, perfectly ordered, as if every member of this heist team has OCD. Everything's perfectly ordered, perfectly labeled with a gaffer's tape. The color scheme they maintain throughout is so impressive, right down to the opening credit sequence. Just everything is this red, white, and black, almost desaturated except for that accent red color scheme. You see the folders on the desk, it's that same red. The phones, these old-timey phones they have, everything else is modern, but they have these old-timey phones, that same red color. The post-it notes that this woman is using in her home, you see that same red color. The car, when they have the prison scene and the car drives up, what color do you think it is? It's red. Everything is that same accent color, and even the pizza boxes. The pizza boxes, there's the white stacked on the bottom and then a couple of the red ones. So everything throughout is just this consistent theme. And already with the bank robbery, you have that perception of adrenaline and danger and exhilarating and fast, easy money living on the run. So there's already this charged atmosphere, and they just amp it up, starting with there's this young, not even legal couple that's hooking up on the toilet. There's sexting. Now they find a way to link all this to the main plot, but really it's there just for titillation. Members of the heist team, they're flirting on the job. They also flash back to before where they show the hookups. They find a way where even if they can't, they say, okay, it's unrealistic that there's going to be a heist going on and we're really going to have members hooking up, but we'll get around this. We'll show flashbacks to how they used to hook up. So they bring the sexually charged element in. They aestheticize even bullying. And so in a normal heist, even if all the heist members, they were sadists and they like bullying the hostages, they would probably avoid it because they would say, look, we got a job to do, we got to focus, we don't want anything that's a variable that we can't control. So they'd probably just focus mostly on the task at hand. The hostages would stay put and there wouldn't be that much interaction. Not here though. Here we have lots of these tense standoffs where different members of the heist team, mostly just one, but there's a couple others as well, will just bully and harass these different hostage members, just terrorizing and tormenting them. And this serves two functions. One, if you're scared of robberies and if you could see yourself in as the victim, that's going to raise this fear, and it's going to play on your irrational fear that if you were in a kind of robbery situation, you would just be minding your own business, trying to keep your mouth shut, and these robbers, they would just be sadistic, and they would just start to fuck with you and start to torment you. Or conversely, if you watch these kind of shows because you're a bit of an outlaw at heart and you've got a bit of a dark side, watching this kind of sadism, it can easily play into your worst fantasies that you tuck away. So either way, it kind of uses, again, just like it uses sex, it even uses bullying. And how they get away with this is they try to keep the heist largely bloodless. And we see this brought up a bunch of times. They're Robin Hood. They're the good guys. They're not spilling any blood. But to have their cake and eat it too, they'll have one guy in particular that seems like a sadist and a loose cannon, and they'll have him say a bunch of really horrible, offensive things and raise that specter of, just because none of the hostages, they're all fine for now, we're not going to show any explicit violence against them, but we're going to have one of these robbers be a pretty scummy guy, say some pretty horrible things, and just raise that specter of brutality and violence, and have that just more titillation. And then classic heist element, you need the drama between members of the team. We've already seen a bit of it with the relationships, but also you need the betrayal, the infighting, the backstabbing. Now, does this happen in Heist, that members of the team, they'll either betray each other during the heist, usually more after, but potentially during the heist? Sure. Does it happen to the extent that we see it when heists are portrayed? Probably not, but it makes for great watching. And even the architecture and the interior design of the bank, the building that they're robbing, now it is the Spanish Mint, if you will, so of course it's going to be opulent, but just the degree of the fancy artwork and paintings on the wall, the aquariums with the fancy fish, even the vault that they open up, and it just, the design of the vault, just visually to look at, is just stunning. Everything's white. Again, it contrasts so well with their red jumpsuits. And that's not even to mention their masks are of Salvador Dalí. You're talking about the literal aestheticization of crime. The only movie or TV show or anything of that nature that I've seen that even comes close to just aestheticizing the bank robbery this well is a movie, Inside Man. Not a huge movie, but I think a very, very good movie, very underrated movie, and that did a lot of these same elements to just create this look and this feel, but I think this show does it better. And, different people are going to like the show for different reasons, but if I try to distill just what makes this show so fun to watch, such a guilty pleasure watch, I think it would be that.